Hello, everyone, and welcome to Commoner Law Group's special presentation on health freedom and the court cases that are helping us win. We're here to do what we love to do here, to celebrate our victories. Every time there's something that's in our favor these days, we have to take the time and the energy put our attention on what's working and how it is that after all of this time that's passed since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, that we are in fact winning. We at the Common Law Group, of course, started helping folks get into action right away when the mandates started happening. The vaccine mandates were threatening people's employment, their participation in college and universities. The military was instituting mandates. At the time, there weren't many people coming to our aid. We looked to our politicians to uphold our rights. They weren't there. We also look, in the case of employment, sometimes to our unions. They were not also helping us. In fact, they were throwing us under the bus. And then, of course, the lawyers, the hundreds, thousands of lawyers in our country, you would have thought would have jumped into action to protect us from an obvious overreach by both government employers as well as government institutions and private employers and private institutions who were forcing employees and students, parents, and others to take an experimental injection, a genetic therapy. And we all knew at the time that it wasn't right. We refused it. We were absolutely right to do so. And early on, the Commoner Law Group put together a package of medical freedom documents that allowed people like you and me to assert our natural God-given rights. And for those people who really stood by their rights and really were embodied with the righteousness given to us by our American freedoms, we were successful in many ways, although the courts didn't uniformly support us. So we had to adjust, and the Commoner Law Group then produced a course that supported folks like you in suing their employers for refusing the vax and without a lawyer. So those cases are still ongoing, and many of our students who kicked off their pursuit of legal justice against their employers are still in process, and there's news on that front. But we're here to celebrate some massive shifts in jurisprudence that have happened over the last few months. And we have an expert attorney with us, Jessica Barsotti, who I'll be introducing in just a minute. We're very fortunate to have her today. But we're going to go over some central cases. There's really quite a number in our favor, but we're going to focus on four in particular. One, an employer, Blue Cross Blue Shield. The Tennessee employee succeeded in winning her lawsuit, including damages, which is critical to recognize. We also have the state of Kansas, the Attorney General of Kansas suing Pfizer for fraud. The Health Freedom Defense Fund also sued on behalf of Los Angeles Unified School District teachers. And that opinion is also breakthrough because the judge ruled that this injection is not a vaccine. And so what that means is that the Supreme Court precedents from a case from 1905 called Jacobson does not apply. And then finally, a very interesting move by a medical doctor in Florida to sue the state of Florida to stop the use of the COVID-19 vaccines in that state. And I'm really excited to be able to go through some of these events with you. And Jessica Barsotti is going to help us understand what these opinions and rulings mean as the wheels of justice move way too slowly for my taste. Some of the rulings are being appealed, so we still have to sort of hold our breath. But we can celebrate today. We are winning. And I thank you all for joining us today. Jessica is an attorney who is one of the good attorneys. I'm always looking for experts in the law that they can come and help us and empower us, we the average ordinary people, in asserting our rights and seeking justice and truth in this country. And today we definitely have someone like that.
Hi, everybody.
There she is. Gorgeous Jessica Barsotti is with us today. I'd like people to get to know you a little bit first, because you're not just any ordinary lawyer. You actually stood up really early on. January 2022, you sued your child's school, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so I've been a lawyer for 24 years. I've been in solo practice for the last 19 years, and I've taken on every kind of suit you can imagine outside of family law and tax. That's what I don't really hit in the courts. I've tried to avoid that, but I've been a litigator. I've done many jury trials, and I've also set up businesses and done estate planning and trusts. So I have a lot of experience in many different areas. And when this whole lockdown thing happened in 2020, I was immediately concerned that this was going to be a problem. And I saw what was coming just because of my experience. And, I, of course, have also gone down many rabbit holes in my time. So I could feel there was a problem coming. And so I immediately reached out to Robert Kennedy Jr.'s organization, Children's Health Defense, told him I'm a lawyer, I want to help. And I got a call back the next day. And I was just right into the groove, getting involved with CHD California, and helping them figure out, okay, what are we going to do here? And everybody saw the writing on the wall that this is leading towards a vaccine and a vaccine mandate. Very early on, we all kind of recognized that. So I started working with them, and as luck would have it, the very first vaccine mandate in the country that was proposed in late 2021 on school children was on my kids in my district in Piedmont, California, which is where I also grew up. And so I had deep ties in the community there. And so I stood up, I went to the board meetings. I said, you guys don't have the legal right to do this. And they told me they were assured that they did. I don't know who was assuring them, but they were very confident in their position through the help of Children's Health Defense California. And we got a parent in town who slyly, reached out to me, who we sued as a Jane Doe because, as you all know, at that time period, it was very the fever pitch of what was going on in the schools and how the kids were reacting and demanding all these things. You know, it wasn't safe for a parent to come out in this small community because their child would be attacked at school. So she sued as a Jane Doe, and we ended up filing for a writ. But instead of doing a normal writ, we did an alternative writ, which was my strategy idea to avoid the inevitable demurrer motion to dismiss, which tends to get rid of these cases out the gate. So we ended up prevailing in that, and we got our writ, and the school board immediately caved because it was very clear they didn't have the legal right to do any kind of mandate like this. And this mandate was for 5-year-olds. They were trying to force the vaccine on kindergartners, K through 12, in my school district. And so we got rid of that. And then we went on to sue Los Angeles Unified School District, which was a lot bigger beast with their massive budget. The case that Clint mentioned here, the Health Freedom Defense Fund case, was also against Los Angeles Unified. They have very, very dirty lawyers there. I can say that from personal experience. So that was a really hard fought case. The judge initially went against us and then changed his mind at the last minute, said that the vaccine was also illegal there. So that was a big win. And that was a couple years ago. And so since then, I've been continuing to do cases. We sued Santa Clara University for throwing kids out and just horrendous actions. That case is in appeal right now. And in that case, I made the very same argument that they made in the HFDF case, which is this is not a vaccine. There's no public health aspect to this, and there's no justification for throwing kids out of college for not taking it. But the court there did not take that argument. Similarly, in the lower court in the HFDF case, they also rejected that argument. But when it got to the Ninth Circuit, everything changed. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I still am doing a couple cases and I have some on appeal, but I'm really transitioning now to helping people stay out of the courts altogether. And we can see the system is not a good way to resolve disputes. So now I'm trying to help people figure out how to stay out of that arena altogether. But these cases that we have now for employees that were damaged, it's a really great time because things have changed dramatically. And I think that suits going forward, particularly in the employment arena are really going to become successful now. So that's a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been predicting at the Common Law Group. I guess we were way ahead of the curve in the sense that the truth always comes out. It just takes time. And